Is Moonbeam going to the moon? Is now a good time to buy? What's going on with the ecosystem? What are the news? What are the updates? What are the charts saying? I'm gonna go over all this stuff in this video. I'm not a financial advisor. This is for educational entertainment purposes only, so do your own research when investing in cryptocurrencies. I'm excited about Moonbeam, excited about getting into this. Let's get right into the content. So Moonbeam is one of the parachain slot auction winners for Polkadot. It is a Ethereum virtual machine, an EVM, and that's a very hot market right now. And it seems very exciting. I like a lot of the stuff I'm learning. There are some things, I have some reservations that I'm gonna get into with you guys. It is a scalable solution for Ethereum, but it is also a sovereign blockchain, a layer 1 blockchain that apps can be built on top of it. So let's see what we got here. The future is multi-chain. Minimal configuration changes, similar smart contract languages. This seems really good. So Solidity, Viper. What's cool about this is that developers who have built on Ethereum in Solidity, and they can take those smart contracts and interact with the Polkadot ecosystem seamlessly, easily, and it's scalable for Ethereum. So I think there's going to be quite a bit of use case for Moonbeam. Hit that subscribe button because I'm going to be giving away 5 Solana tokens to one of my subscribers when I hit 1,000 subscribers. Make sure that it's on public so I can see that you're subscribed, so you can get a chance for me to give you some free Solana. It's 5 tokens. Do it up. Let's get back to it. Here it's talking about redeploying your existing smart contracts to the Polkadot environment. So Ethereum, for Ethereum dApps that want to interact with Polkadot, they're not going to have to rewrite all of their code, rewrite in a different language. They can use the Moonbeam ecosystem and do that. So Moonbeam's claim here, Moonbeam is the most Ethereum compatible smart contract parachain in the Polkadot ecosystem. It allows developers to port their projects with minimal to no code changes, enabling them to tap into Polkadot ecosystem and all of its assets. So let's get into our price here, our market cap. We'll look at this graph. So we're at about $1 billion market cap, just under 938 million. Our all-time high was $15. So we had this big spike here. I can go over some of the reasons why I believe there was this huge run, this huge spike. And then we've been having this sell-off here for the last few months. And we bottomed out at about the $2 range. And now we've popped up into, we've been floating around the $4 range the last week or so. We don't have a lot of trading history here, so it's hard to tell where our real layers of support are, but it seems like in the $2 range, 240, 230, seems like we have some support, but it's hard to say because it's a very new blockchain, very young project. We don't have a lot of trading history on this. Total supply is 1.1 billion at this point. These are the marketplaces we're on: Binance, BKEX, Gate, KuCoin, CoinDCX. Gate no longer allows US users. Binance also doesn't allow US users, so that's unfortunate. We're not on the US exchanges yet. We're not on Coinbase, and I don't know if we will be because there's some issues with the US and Moonbeam, and I'm going to go into that in a little bit. So let's look into Glmr. Glmr is the token utility that Moonbeam uses to operate its ecosystem, to pay for network transactions, to do the gas metering, for governance. This is our token allocation here. If you look here, these are all the different allocations. Now it seems like here, if I looked into most of these vesting periods, they were about 12 to 24 months. So one concern I have for Moonbeam is it seems like a lot of the tokens went to either the team or investors, because we have seed funding, investors, strategic funding, also investors here. Pure stake early backers, 14 million Glmr, 1.4%. Founders and early employees, 10% went to them. Future employees, 4.6% to them. Key partners and advisors, another 3.9%, which all sounds kind of like either investors, venture. That's not going to us, the general public here. So there's a large percentage of these tokens that are being held by seemingly kind of institutional money, or by the company itself, or by the employees, which could hurt the price of Moonbeam when those get offloaded or sold onto the market. We could have a spike in supply. So if we look here, Moonbeam has a 5% annual inflation rate and has an uncapped token supply, which doesn't sound great for investors. However, 80% of the fees will be burned, so that'll apply some deflationary force. 20% of those fees will go to the treasury. Here you can see 1% goes towards incentivizing collaterals, 1.5% goes to the bond reserve, and 2.5% goes to the Glmr stakers. And I'll show you what's going on with staking Glmr. So here, if you go to stakeglmr.com, this gives you a list of the different collaterals, and it shows you what current APR is. Average 22.5%, but if you look here, if you click on 28 rounds per block, it'll show you how much about you're getting APR, 27%, 24%, 25% to stake your Glmr to the network, to validate the network. And essentially you want a lower backing number here, but you want a high amount of blocks. But basically I'd say this number is the number you want to be looking at when deciding a collateral. Now, something that seems less bullish for me and something that I'm disappointed in because I am a US resident citizen. So, and if we go here to launch app, you will see this come up by connecting wallet, blah, blah, blah. This disclosure is basically stating that if you live in the United States, Canada, Democratic People's Republic of Korea, Cuba, Syria, Iran, Crimea, or Republic of China, you cannot use Glmr, or you cannot use Moonbeam. You can't stake Moonbeam, you can't trade Moonbeam, you can't use the ecosystem. So if you go to try to stake your Moonbeam, now there is ways to get around that with VPNs, and you can research that on Reddit or do stuff like that. But as an investor, this is disappointing to me, and I'm guessing it's because of fear of SEC regulation, that they don't want to be labeled as a security. Even though US users are not able to use the Moonbeam ecosystem and stake and use the applications, I think there are enough users worldwide that we will have another bull run, and that Moonbeam will go up in value, or Glmr will go up in value in the long term. But you know, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for Canada, US, and just, you know, compared to other competitors, there are other competitors who are doing this, and it's like path of least resistance, right? And if you have to get a VPN and do all this different stuff, and it's kind of shady, it's like, when there's just other tokens you can invest in, why not invest in those? So that's probably one of the biggest disappointing factors of Moonbeam for me. But for all you non-US residents, then that shouldn't be an issue. Our DeFi Llama. I always like to check DeFi Llama, see where our market cap, our TVL is. So our TVL, the market cap ratio is 5.6. It's not great. It's not terrible. We have 165 million staked, and we have 20 DeFi protocols. So I think Solana, if we look at here, our top guys, Solana's right in there. Wow, Phantom really jumped up. 0.5, dang. I need to look into Phantom. I need to do a video about that. That's always exciting news when you see that. That can be a good early indicator for growth. I mean, look at Terra, Luna up here killing it, 29 billion, and Ethereum, of course, at the top. But their ratio here, 3.1 for Ethereum. It's not as good as Avalanche. It's not as good as Terra. But yeah, so for Moonbeam, we have I'd say medium stake to market cap ratio. Not great, not terrible. And we can look here at our growth chart. We don't have a lot of history. Here we had this run of staked amount, and people, this was basically the sell-off, right? Kind of coincides perfectly. But we do have this gradual uptick here. So we'll just see if this continues to go up. We're probably going to see a price increase for Glmr. But this is a good resource to check out. Let's look at some of our chain activity here. We have Moonbeam chain daily transactions. This kind of follows our similar bull run. And we had a lot of transactions here, and it's kind of just leveled out here in the, 25,000 per day. So not a huge amount of transactions, not a huge ecosystem. And this is just hard to say. Not going up, not really going down. However, this is nice here. It's still a young graph, but this is good to see. We have a growing wallet address numbers here. We're up at 218,000 wallet addresses for Moonbeam and Glmr. So this is bullish here. I like to see this. Check out their social media presence, 248.2 thousand followers. It's a good amount. Now we can get into some news here. This wasn't super recent, but this was a 6 million round that Moonbeam raised, Pure Stake raised for the Moonbeam network. 6 million is not a huge amount of money. Some investors or some crypto enthusiasts would say that these VCs investing in cryptocurrencies ruins the decentralization and creates too much supply in one wallet or one holder that can hurt. But mostly, if you know anything about venture capitalists and VCs, a lot of these people, they're not short-term holders. Venture capitalists usually are investing in a 7 to 10 year range. So I think that for me, I like seeing venture investing in companies. These are extremely smart people. This is what they do. This is what they spend all their time doing. However, they do have a very high risk business model. So just because a venture capitalist invests in a company doesn't mean that it's going to go to the moon. They strike out on probably 90% of the companies that they invest in, but the ones that do win, they blow up huge. But you have really smart people looking into these things when they're putting up money and putting money behind them. So I see it as bullish news when you have VC investment, but some other crypto enthusiasts do not. All right, that's it for Moonbeam. I hope you enjoyed. Keep aping, keep hodling. Woo!